Good morning and welcome to Morning Java, brought to you as always by Get Go Cafe and Market, where right now you can get the breakfast special for $3.99, gets you a hash brown, coffee, and your choice of breakfast sandwich.
Or if that's not your gig, you can get 2 croissants for $6.
Indeed, and I'll tell you what, they're going to lead off this game right now, Dale. The Steelers' offense exploded. Josh Dobbs and Mason Rudolph had themselves a day. Steelers won the game 39-24, but the real story was what was going on in the first half.
Yeah, both quarterbacks looked really sharp. They both came in, performed well. You look at the numbers. Josh Dobbs, 8 of 12 for 151 yards and a touchdown, also rushed for a touchdown. He was relieved in the second quarter, but late in the second quarter. And Mason Rudolph came in 5 of 9 for 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also had a 2-point conversion run. Both guys, when you look at it, Dobbs had a quarterback passer rating of 137.5. Rudolph was 135.2. I don't know how you split the hairs between that.
I mean, the thing is that they were also making very good reads, Dale. Dobbs was moving about he dodged maybe like 4 or 5 sacks in the first quarter alone. But when he was out there, he was very confident, kept his eyes down the field, finding. I talked to Tomlin after the game, and he said, we worked on him, making sure he was using his arm, processing, and he felt very confident about the way that Dobbs progressed. Mason Rudolph, same sort of thing. That touchdown pass he threw to Tevin Jones, read the seam in a cover 3 through a strike, and it was a good throw for a touchdown. Defensively, the story of the Steelers was a lot of tackling, a lot of that from Matthew Thomas, who had himself a game. Matthew
Thomas finished with 11 tackles, a sack in which he took the ball off the quarterback and returned it nearly for a touchdown, got tackled at the 1. He solidified his spot on the roster, not that was in any kind of question. Another guy who did that was Ola Denier.
Yes.
Goes out, gets a sack, a strip fumble on that. This guy's been active throughout training camp. He's an undersized defensive end from the MAC conference, but this guy can rush the passer.
And that's the big thing the Steelers want. They need somebody that in depth that can engage with their hands, disengage, and get around those tackles. He did that very well. He's done it all well through the preseason.
He likes a little rip move.
Yeah, the rip exactly. And it's that kind of moves that the Steelers have been looking to see from other players outside of their starters. But I'll tell you what, Matthew Thomas. We've seen him play inside. We've seen him play pass defense. On that pass rush, he came off the edge and he came flying. And when he got to that quarterback, I mean, he hits the quarterback, ball's in there, he sees it, grabs it with one hand, runs it like 50 yards down. A running back saved the day. Good effort for him. But all in all, they're right. Those two solidified themselves, and I think there's a few guys that are questioning themselves, maybe like Tyler Matakevich, as far as how much time they might see this year.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. Both of those guys undrafted.
Yeah.
Just because you're not in the draft doesn't mean you can't play this game, and that just goes to show that's the case with those two fellas.
Dale, the topic of the whole training camp that everyone's been talking about is they can't keep 4 quarterbacks. The Steelers cannot keep 4 quarterbacks, and right now they have 4 quarterbacks that know how to play in this offense.
And they cannot keep 4 quarterbacks.
but
they can't. Well, they can.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. You're probably not going to see that. 16 teams in the league last year kept 2 quarterbacks. Just 2. Not even anybody on the practice squad. So the majority of that's half the teams right there. The other ones kept 3. Nobody kept 4 quarterbacks last year on their roster. You just don't do it in today's NFL. I would expect some kind of movement with the trade either today or tomorrow.
That could very well happen, is because right now Josh Dobbs went out there and showed everyone is like, look, I can process defenses. I'm athletic. I can beat these guys with my legs, and I know how to combine my legs with my arm. There's got to be some teams out there that are saying, hey, we need a backup, or we're not sure about our starter. Let's put him into the fold. And Josh Dobbs has to be the target for the Steelers to get rid of, because they're not getting rid of Mason Rudolph, and Landry Jones is your immediate backup on this team.
Yeah, and the people who are saying, well, they should trade Landry Jones, these are the same people who are saying, oh, Landry Jones, he stinks. Let's cut him. Which is it? Can you trade him for something, or can you just cut him?
Yeah,
it's got to be one of the two. And you can't do both.
And that's the thing, is that Landry Jones has a value to this team.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest thing, is that if you set Landry Jones, one, he's a lot older than Dobbs. And I'm not saying a lot as in like a decade, but he's like a 3 or 4 years. That counts a lot. And I think a lot of teams are like, look, we can mold a Josh Dobbs. Whereas Landry Jones, he's a guy, he knows the system. He's won games for the Steelers already. You go with what you know, and you keep the young quarterback you just drafted behind him to keep learning.
The thing that happened tonight was that Josh Dobbs may have solidified himself. Maybe instead of getting a 7, maybe you get a 6 for him. And the Carolina Panthers, the team that the Steelers played, if you're looking for a backup quarterback, don't you want somebody who
plays like Cam
Newton? That's Josh Dobbs.
2 SEC quarterbacks that like to be on the move. Now, Dale, we saw a lot of Stephen Ridley at running back tonight. He had missed the past game or two with some lower body problems.
He had a hamstring issue.
Hamstring, yes. But he came out, he ran pretty well. He did what he's always done, runs well, decides well when he's in space, is able to make some people miss. What's the running back situation going to be like when Le'Veon Bell does come back eventually?
Well, it's interesting. It's almost like they're featuring Stephen Ridley. They wanted to see what he could do in this game because he hadn't played the last 2 games. You didn't see a lot of Fitzgerald Toussaint in this game, and you didn't see any James Conner.
No, which means you know that James Conner's set. He's in. They knew what they've seen.
They're saving him because there's potential that he could be their lead running back in Cleveland because they don't know what's going to happen with Le'Veon Bell right now.
Very good point.
Maybe he shows up on Monday. Maybe he doesn't. They don't know that until he shows up. So there's a little bit of a quandary there at the running back position as they head into the cuts on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm sure they're trying to protect themselves, but it's an interesting situation because you got Roosevelt Nix as your fullback, so that's one guy on the depth chart. But supposedly you have Le'Veon Bell, James Conner. Then do you keep Ridley or do you keep Samuels? Because Samuels had a strong game against the Titans, and he showed up big. So who do you keep? The young guy?
Because of the situation with Le'Veon Bell, I think you keep 5 running backs.
Really?
You keep the potential there for 5 running backs.
So 5 running backs and not 4 quarterbacks, Dale?
Absolutely.
Well, see, that's the thing, and that's why you can't keep 4 quarterbacks is because on top of wanting to keep 5 running backs, you got 5 inside linebackers, 5 outside linebackers, 6 cornerbacks, 6 receivers. There's not enough to make the final 53. That's why that situation is so big. But 5 running backs, we'll see who gets cut.